Chicago, the destination of millions of travelers, the heart of America, the scene of the greatest show on earth. There's a big blimp flying along. Let's see how the fair looks from its cabin. Covering 22 long city blocks, the fair occupies all the space between Lake Michigan and Chicago's outer drive. In this galaxy of huge structures and advanced ideas, the Ford Exposition stands out in bold relief. The Ford building is nearly 1,000 feet long, the tower as high as a 10-story building. Inside the gigantic rotunda, more than 60 antique vehicles brought from Henry Ford's own priceless collection at Dearborn tell the story of man's conquest for faster and more comfortable travel. Here are Edsel Ford and Henry Ford, two of the most interested visitors at the Ford Exposition. More than 5,000 firms supply material for the building of the Ford V8. 21 of the largest of these have displays in the Ford building. The industrial wing, which houses the exhibits, together with many others prepared by the Ford Motor Company, is larger than 2 football fields laid end to end. A battery of special welding machines forms the welded steel Ford wheel. So sturdy and strong is this Ford wheel that when suspended at the hub, 14 Ford cars can be hung from its rim. At the fair, 3 Fords are suspended from one wheel, but 11 more could have been added had space permitted. No wonder Ford owners feel safe. Aluminum cylinder heads are standard equipment on the 1934 Ford V8 passenger car engine. The story of aluminum, too, is told at the exposition. The molten metal is poured into a mold to emerge in the form of a V8 cylinder head. The Ford V8 motor is a beautiful piece of machinery. In mechanics, beauty means simplicity. Here, skilled workers repeatedly disassemble and assemble a standard Ford motor to demonstrate its qualities of simplicity and accessibility. The average time required for them to completely assemble the V8 motor is less than 10 minutes. During this demonstration, many of the exclusive features of Ford V8 design become apparent. Spectators gain a better understanding of its remarkable performance, its records of long service. Simplicity of Ford V8 design is strikingly demonstrated by the fact that a Ford V8 motor can be and is assembled before your very eyes in less than 10 minutes. Many visitors to the Ford Exposition make a circuit of the roads of the world. Ford cars are placed at the disposal of guests for a trip around the Oval, which contains sections of many famous roads of the world. Henry Ford has said that the auto made roads, and roads make commerce and civilization. In the short space of a comfortable 4-minute ride, these visitors are carried back through a period of 4,000 years to roads which knew the tread of the Roman legions, the yellow hordes of Genghis Khan, the moccasined feet of Daniel Boone and his Indian friends. They see the bleaching bones of men and beasts as they rot beneath the fierce rays of the sun, beating down upon the great slave route across Africa. Here also are sections of roads from Germany, Belgium, Canada, Southern Africa, Asia, England, and many of the more modern types built in America today. Military roads, roads built exclusively for royalty, roads for slaves, all are there in this significant exhibit.
Now comes another epoch-making event, the launching of the 1935 V8, a worthy successor to the long line of Ford achievements. And here it is, today's and tomorrow's Ford, an automobile representing all the resources, the engineering brains, the faith, and the courage of the Ford Motor Company. Ford officials, headed by Mr. Henry Ford and Mr. Edsel Ford, personally inspected the first contingent before they crossed the threshold and went out under the sky. In the opinion of the makers who are launching the new V8 on its 1935 journey, this is the best Ford ever turned out. Once out of the factory, the new car was asked to make good, to perform the promise of its designers. Naturally, we made many tests right in our own backyard. Here's the 1935 version of the man on the flying trapeze. It goes through the air with the greatest of ease. After these terrific tryouts, we were ready for the more normal tests of civilized transportation. What will the American car buyer expect for his money in this era of economy and advanced transportation? Some folks take mechanical perfection for granted, especially in a Ford, but demand superlative style and beauty. Let's see what Mrs. Hemingway Hepplewaite would say. Mrs. Hepplewaite is one of the smart set. The 1935 V8 fits her tastes without ruining her income.
My, it is good looking, isn't it? Honestly, I don't know how you do it for so little money. And such attractive upholstery. Very swanky. Nicely done. And will you look at this revolving ashtray? And this glove compartment. Quite ingenious, really. My, this windshield opener handles easily. Isn't this just the roomiest thing you've ever seen? If you ask me, you must have built this car just for women drivers.
That will certainly make a wonderful wedding gift. Wish I could find time to drive out there, too.
Look, John. They're back to their first love.
Oh, look, Bob. I can move over without getting all tangled up.
Sure, that's the new gear shift lever. Well, I guess that settles it. Can you deliver this car in time for the wedding Saturday noon? It will be there, Mr. Allen.
Oh, Dad, you're precious. A wonderful wedding gift and a grand trip to the San Diego Fair. I'm the happiest person in the world.
Buenos dias, señoras y caballeros. We give you the fiesta at San Diego. California's traditional hospitality, handed down for generations from the gracious days of the Spanish Dons, is beckoning millions of guests to San Diego's California Pacific International Exposition. Balboa Park, scene of the exposition, boasts 1,000 graceful trees, and set like a white gem in a deep green mounting, is one of the largest of the fair exhibits. In this building, a brief cross-section of the Ford plant at Dearborn tells the story of raw materials and their progress from earth to automobile. Trained lecturers explain each exhibit, telling, for instance, how soybeans are processed to make parts for Ford cars. Henry Ford, you know, believes that a great deal of the automobile of the future will be grown on the farms of America. Let's take a ride around the Ford roads of the Pacific just outside the building. Hop into a 1935 car, and we're off. Here's the old plank road from California across the desert to Yuma, Arizona. Then Japan's Tokaido, which figures in that country's fable and song almost as importantly as Fujiyama, the sacred mountain. Panama's Gold Road comes next, literally paved with the bones of men and beasts who broke its weary miles through steaming jungles. We haven't time to see all the roads, but they're not the half of it.
Ford has scored again. Let's see that car.
Say, what in the world is that? That's a new Mercury.
Oh, John, isn't that a beautiful car?
Sure is. That's the new Mercury.
And now, an even finer Mercury for 1940. A car that retains all the features that proved so popular in 1939 and gains new improvements that are bound to give an even wider appeal. What does the Mercury offer for 1940? New exterior beauty. Look at the distinctive lines of this big new Mercury 8. See how the newly designed front end retains the big car appearance that is characteristic of the Mercury. And this appearance is not deceiving. Remember, the Mercury is a big car. It measures 196 inches from bumper to bumper. New interior styling. The 1940 Mercury sets a new standard of interior styling. Blue and silver tones lend a modern appearance to the interior, which is in keeping with the up-to-the-minute exterior design. Door handles, knobs, and escutcheons are blue. Window and door moldings are ingrained silver oak finish. Rich upholstery in harmonizing blue-gray color, with a choice of bark weave broadcloth or two-tone Bedford cord. In appointments, too, the Mercury creates a new trend. The instrument panel carries out the theme of blue and silver tones with instruments and gauges more conveniently grouped. A new straight-line speedometer directly in front of the driver. New automatic top. Here's a big car feature brought to the popularly priced Mercury for the first time, the automatic top. The automatic top is now standard equipment on the Smart Club Convertible, popular last year. Bound to be even more popular this year with the addition of this new top. The automatic top is easy to operate. Just work a knob on the instrument panel, and the top raises or lowers automatically through vacuum power supplied by the engine. The automatic action increases the life of the top and assures neat folding when it is lowered. And here's a brand new body style with wide appeal, the Mercury Convertible Sedan, a car that meets the seasons as they come. Six can ride in comfort in this new body type that can be either a weather-tight sedan or a dashing open car. The trim lines of the Mercury Convertible Sedan are certain to attract notice on the street and bring buyers to the showroom.
June 16th, 1940, and the world's busiest, biggest, and greatest fair pauses to celebrate the 37th anniversary of the founding of the Ford Motor Company. It is Ford Day at the fair, and fair officials and exhibitors alike pay honor to the imagination and genius of the founder, Mr. Henry Ford. The colorful ceremonies center about the great Ford Exposition building. Here, thousands of Ford dealers, employees, and friends joined with Edsel B. Ford and other company officials for the gala birthday party. Here, too, they gathered to welcome home the 28 millionth Ford car from its international goodwill tour of the United States, Canada, and Mexico.
home at last. And what an ovation the 28 millionth Ford car received as it moved slowly into the garden court and to its place of honor on the platform. Mr. Edsel Ford extends a personal greeting as well as the official company welcome to the car's pilots as they step from the car at the end of the International Goodwill Tour. Newly designed for 1940, the Ford building, together with its gardens, covers 7 acres. It is strikingly modern in design and full of action. To the left of the front entrance is a huge statue of the mythical god Mercury, symbolizing fleet, effortless travel. The main entrance hall is a symphony in color and a fascinating introduction to what follows. Here is a panorama of the motor car age, starting with the first Ford car, built in 1903, and coming down to the present Ford, Deluxe Ford, Mercury, Lincoln Zephyr, and Lincoln, style leaders for the road of tomorrow. Visitors pause long before Henry Ford's first gasoline engine and marvel at the huge Mobile mural by Henry Billings, the first moving mural in the world, symbolizing the dependence of industry upon pure science. From 10 in the morning until 10 at night, the Industrial Hall is a scene of activity, with crowds thronging around the manufacturing exhibits. From the Industrial Hall, visitors stream into the garden court and onto the loading platform for a thrilling ride on the road of tomorrow, a dream highway of the future built as a part of the Ford Exposition building. In brightly colored Ford, Mercury, and Lincoln Zephyr cars, visitors are driven around this road of the future for more than half a mile. Up the spiral ramp, showing how traffic can be lifted to the express level without wasting space, around and through the building itself. No cross traffic, complete separation of opposing streams of traffic, the road of tomorrow.
This is a story of transition from the old to the new. How an idea, seen first in the minds of a few men, was translated by human brains and hands into a motor car.
The car is designed from the inside out. The idea is to move everything forward so that the passengers in the back seat are riding ahead of the rear wheels. Then we can bring the overall height down and have even more room inside.
So here is the idea. Space that is to be enclosed and powered so that people can move from one place to another. The idea takes form and dimension in quarter scale. It's time to shape it up full size in clay so other minds can work on it, so they can walk around it and talk about it. Finally, the idea is approaching full form, and they spray color on the clay mock-ups, color and trim, to get them ready for the hour of decision. We have developed 2 full-size clay versions of it, and the men who will guide the production of the car, the men who will advertise it and sell it, have the final say at this point. They have to study the idea and think, how will it look in the showroom? How will it look on the highway, going shopping down Elm Street, driving to the picnic on Sunday afternoon? How will it look parked in the driveway? How much will it cost? They make the final decision, and the idea is on its way to becoming an automobile. When all the component parts are ready, there is a fabulous climax, final assembly. because of teamwork, of coordination between man and man, between department and department. This complex machine will grow under your eyes. Because of coordination, the holes are in the right places. The bolts fit. The parts go together as easily as a dream sketch is drawn. The parts will work together and function together as an automobile. New horizons and freedom of movement spring to life at a touch. But the story is not over. There is still a journey to the highways of the nation, to Elm Street, to the Sunday picnic.
A modern automobile is a masterpiece of complex engineering. Whether you're driving a sleek, streamlined convertible or a well-weathered car of ancient vintage, you have control of tremendous power. Power exactingly coordinated to respond to the least pressure on the controls. In fact, the engineering in today's cars is so complex that many drivers aren't concerned with why or how a car operates, just as long as it does operate and gets them where they want to go. The engine oil, the cooling system, the battery, all tires and lights should be checked whenever you stop for gas. And it's a good idea to have the gas tank filled whenever your fuel gauge drops to the quarter full mark. Plenty of gas and a frequent check of the oil, water, and tires will help prevent a breakdown when you're out on the road. In fact, the importance of properly circulating oil in the engine bearings can't be stressed too much. Nothing can do more damage to an engine than a drop in oil pressure. Always look at the stick gauge yourself to make sure the oil is clean and up to the proper level. And don't neglect to have your windshield, headlights, and tail lights cleaned. Dirt on the windshield can often interfere with a clear view of the road ahead. And at night, of course, it's mighty important to have bright, clear headlights so you have maximum visibility. It's a fact that dirt on the lenses can often reduce the amount of light by 1/3. So keep your lights clean. Comfort and safety in driving depend a great deal upon proper care of the tires. Modern low-pressure tires must carry the correct amount of air at all times to avoid the damage which can result from under or overinflation. The air pressure in your tires should be checked each time you stop for gas. And don't forget the spare tire. You may not need it, but it's best to be prepared. Oil, water, lights, tires, and battery. Have these items checked every time you stop for gas. It may take a few extra minutes, but it's worth it in keeping the car in good operating condition.
It's new, the latest development in the industry. It's wonderful, with unbelievable driving ease, smoothness, and safety. It's amazing in performance, in flexibility, and in economy.
And now the Lincoln Mercury division of the Ford Motor Company presents
Merc-o-Matic Drive.
There's nothing like it on the road.
Yes, it's Mercury's new automatic transmission.
And Merc-o-Matic is so simple, so safe.
Many times easier than ordinary driving, with nothing new to learn.
Naturally, there's no clutch pedal, no need for clutch manipulation. A selector lever and dial replace the standard gear shift control. The engine can only be started in the neutral position. Then you move the selector to the drive position. To get underway, you step on the accelerator just as you're accustomed to doing.
Oh, but what a difference.
Yes, getaway with Merc-o-Matic almost defies description. It's so silky smooth, you're scarcely aware of what's happening.
With Merc-o-Matic, stopping is just as effortless as starting.
A gentle pressure on the new wide brake pedal brings you to a safe, smooth, sure stop. There's nothing else to do. You start up again by merely pressing the accelerator.
Yes, that's all there is to it. Step on the brake to stop, step on the gas to go.
And now, meet the finest of the fine cars for 1951. The Lincoln Cosmopolitan. Cosmopolitan styling has been effective there, this 1951 sports sedan with the 1950 model. For one thing, the massive bumpers of the 1951 models with their low-placed guards and the tasteful simplicity of the impressive grille catch the eye at first glance. Here, the Cosmopolitan name is proudly displayed high on the fender, and with it is the winged applique, which is destined to become a mark of distinction for all members of the 1951 Lincoln family. At the rear, fenders and rear deck, continuous unbroken line, while beneath the rear deck surface, there's a cross-country fabric-lined trunk compartment with a spare tire covered, yet convenient. For outward beauty, more rich-hued solid colors and more stunning two-tone combinations will be available for the 1951 Lincoln Cosmopolitan than for any previous year. The Cosmopolitan interiors, already established as the most luxurious in the fine car field, reach new eras of elegance for 1951. And with all the ample room of a really big car that's to be found in any Cosmopolitan, there's also such standard additional comfort conveniences as the hydraulic window lifts, where the touch of a finger on a control raises or lowers a window as desired, or automatically adjusts the driver's seat to the most comfortable position. And those discerning motorists who want only the ultimate in personal transportation can choose from the strikingly handsome Cosmopolitan 6-passenger coupe, combining the roominess and luxury of a sedan with the two-door arrangement that's preferred by many, the magnificent Lincoln Cosmopolitan sports sedan, the stunning Cosmopolitan Convertible, or the most beautiful customized coupe on the highway, the very new Lincoln Cosmopolitan Capri.
A man's work is from sun to sun, but a woman's work, well, that practically stops the second she slides behind the wheel of a Ford. With a touch and a button, she can raise or lower the seat or move it forward or backward automatically. She presses another button to raise or lower the windows. Now she moves the Ford-o-Matic lever to drive and enjoys automatic shifting no matter how many stops and starts she has to make. And speaking of stops, all it takes is a gentle touch on the pedal with Ford's new Swift Sure Power brakes to stop smoothly and quickly. Now watch how easy parking is with Ford's Master Guide power steering. She's merely guiding the car. Master Guide is doing the work. These 5 driver assists, all available in the 54 Ford, are only part of the story. In any 54 Ford, you enjoy many new features that give you added driving ease.
Hi, folks. If you were looking for gunplay, I hope you weren't too disappointed. Funny thing about Western movies, you take an empty street, put 2 men on it face to face, and the audience just naturally gets set for some fast action. And there's another time when you could expect action and get it, too. I'm talking about my new Ford Thunderbird.
A classic design is ageless. It remains permanently new and exciting. Now, Ford presents the newest version of an automotive classic, the Ford Thunderbird for 1956. You'll recognize the beauty of line that in only 1 year has won the heart of all America. Now let's take a look at what's new in the Thunderbird for 1956. Notice how the spare is encased and mounted outside the car. This gives the new Thunderbird a longer, smarter silhouette and gives you far more space in the luggage compartment. You can have your choice of many striking new two-tone color combinations. In addition, you have, or can get, all of Ford's Lifeguard design features. The deep center Lifeguard steering wheel, Lifeguard instrument panel and sun visor padding, Ford's nylon seatbelt, and Lifeguard double-grip door latches. Features that mean added protection in the event of an accident. And as for performance, it will be a revelation. Just wait till you have felt the eager surge of the new 225 horsepower Thunderbird Special Y8 engine. And thrill to the way this low-slung beauty corners on a curve. Fun? You'll have to experience it to believe it. Personal car, magic carpet, whatever the name Thunderbird means to you, it'll mean even more when you see and drive the lovelier, livelier Thunderbird for 56.
Bing Crosby is a symbol of the greatest in entertainment. It can be truly said he is the entertainer's entertainer. And as for his Thunderbird, well, it's a symbol of the greatest, too. How do you like yours, Bing?
Well, this is quite a vehicle. You know, I've been around some pretty clever horseless carriages in my time, and that's a bit of time, too. But this beautiful little T-Bird, man, this is the performer's performer. And how about this for a continental touch? You see, they've taken the spare out of the trunk and put it back here, thus achieving a long, pure line. Don't you think? And look at the room you got inside here now. Why, you could throw 4 hunting dogs, a brace of decoys, and a case of, well, it's pretty roomy. But what really impresses me is the way Ford's assembly line is turning out peace of mind these days. I'm speaking of Lifeguard design, naturally, and you get it in every new Ford this year. Because all 56 Fords have these Lifeguard double-grip door latches. And they keep the door closed no matter what. The steering wheel gives you a good, safe 4-inch cushion to keep the steering column from pinning itself to the manly chest in case of an accident. Sort of makes you wonder why all cars don't have it, huh? Well, all Fords do. But you know what really flips me is this telescopic twist. Adjusts to the high caloric figure or to the trim, well-built youngsters like me. Now, looky here. Lifeguard padding all around. Man, do my passengers have it soft. I want you to listen to some sweet harmonizing. There, that's what 225 horsepower sounds like. You know, you too can have Thunderbird V8 power, family style, because the Thunderbird engine is standard now in all Fairlane and station wagon models. It doesn't cost you a nickel extra. Let me show you a real getaway. First you, whoop, wait a minute. Got to have the full wardrobe for this deal. Now, we're all set? Here we go.
You are watching Mr. Bing Crosby. You were watching Mr. Bing Crosby and his new 1956 Thunderbird.
Speed center of America is Daytona Beach, Florida. Here, pacing the progress of the automobile, have raced some of the world's most famous drivers. These are flying mile tests. The cars have 2 miles to pick up speed before crossing the start mark for the measured mile. At this point, the flag is just to dress things up. Actual timing doesn't begin until the cars are 2 miles down the beach. Electric devices at each end of the mile time the cars to a fraction of a second. And the speed is recorded in the tower. The engines in these cars are the same as those used by the public, but sometimes the bodies are modified. Chuck Day's car has a special tonneau cover to cut down wind resistance. And there he goes. 2 miles to the start mark, and at this rate, Chuck should cross it really flying. There it is. Now the run is for keeps, and every piece of a second counts. 150 miles an hour. Boy! Just a warm-up for tomorrow's official acceleration tests. Daytona races are dependent upon the tide, whose routine washings leave either a beach good for racing or a bad one. This morning it's good, and hopes are high for a record in the acceleration tests. In this race, the cars are clocked from a standing start, and their time is averaged from the instant the wheels begin to turn. Chuck Day is out for another record. This will be tougher than yesterday because the cars don't get a running start. That's it. Get going, boy. Quick response is the big test here. A car which responds safely from zero avoids the dangers inherent in passing on a hill, in unexpected corner turns, and so on. That looks like it is a new world's record. Chuck Day averaging 88.78 miles per hour over 1 mile from a standing start.
Your lucky 7, Ford has shaped the classic Thunderbird profile into a completely fresh, completely distinctive style all its own. New swept-back tail fins and the longer rear deck add elegance to its lower-than-ever lines. These new dimensions give you more luggage room, too. Even with a spare tire inside, you get more luggage space than last year. You know, there's not another car like it in America. It's powered by a big 312 cubic inch V8 engine with twin 4-barrel carburetors. You'll have to look far to find a performer that can match this one.
This is Daytona Beach, Florida. Let's watch the Fords go by to victory. From a standing start, a 300 horsepower 1957 Ford V8 out-accelerated every other low-priced car. A stock Ford Thunderbird took first place in its class for the flying mile, outperforming all American production sports cars. In the National Amateur Sports Car Race, a modified Thunderbird finished first in its class, topping every American sports car and winning the Paul Whiteman and Sports Illustrated trophies. And a modified Thunderbird won 2 unlimited classes against all American and European competition. It made the flying mile in the fastest time recorded by any car at Daytona, and in the standing mile, out-accelerated all other cars in Daytona Beach history.
You are present for one of the most important social events of the year. Your host is Mr. Dick Powell.
Well, hello there. I'm glad you can be with us tonight because this is a most unusual party with the most unusual guest of honor. And here it comes now. That fabulous beauty, Ford's new 4-passenger Thunderbird. No doubt about it. Ford has created a completely new size and type of automobile in this 4-passenger Thunderbird. There's nothing else like it on the road. It's truly America's most individual car. This jewel of a car stands only a bit higher than a racer, but it seats 4 people in elegant comfort. How is this possible? Ford engineers have designed the whole body, including the frame, as one single piece of sculptured steel. Look how easy it is to get out of, even for a lady in an evening dress. That's because the doors are unusually wide and the right front seat folds down completely for the convenience of those in the rear. It's amazing, but you actually get more headroom and legroom in Ford's new Thunderbird than in many of the largest luxury cars. And notice this new console next to all passengers. It has heater, window controls, and ashtrays at your fingertip. What about power? Well, under this thoroughbred hood, you can have the 300 horsepower Thunderbird special engine. You've got a real thrill ahead of you when you put this powerhouse through its paces. And as for price, well, all this can be yours at a price far below that of other luxury cars. This is a glittering occasion as America greets another first from Ford. The new 4-passenger Thunderbird. See it at your Ford dealer soon.
This is Inverness Club, last year the scene of golf's #1 event, the National Open. And just a chip shot away sit 3 National Open champions from Ford, the only complete line of convertibles in America, featuring this newest first from Ford, the 4-passenger Ford Thunderbird convertible. Watch, the rear deck lid has opened up. The power control top rises, then disappears out of sight into the exclusive hideaway compartment. The rear deck lid hides it completely, and you have one flowing line of pure Thunderbird beauty. Here's a car that gives 4 people all the individual room and comfort of a much larger, costlier car, plus glamour and dazzling performance that's all Thunderbird all the way. There's never been any convertible, at any price, anything like this new 4-passenger Ford Thunderbird convertible. This is the bluegrass country of Kentucky. This is the land of the thoroughbred. Here, among people trained to recognize a champion on sight, Ford proudly presents the car everyone would love to own, the 1959 Ford Thunderbird, the car whose very name calls up a picture of youth and spirit and romance. Thunderbird, America's most admired car because its lines are so beautifully pure and clean. Thunderbird, America's most wanted car because it is unique in personality and prestige. Thunderbird, America's most distinctive car, with doors 4 feet wide that make it so easy to get in and out of, with the 4 widest, deepest, most comfortable seats you ever rode in, with all the headroom and legroom any 4 people could want. And here's the Thunderbird exclusive, the service console, with power window control and ashtrays within easy reach of all passengers. It looks like a thoroughbred, it moves like a thoroughbred. Compact as it is, the '59 Thunderbird handles with an ease and assurance you'll have to feel to believe. The Thunderbird is a true luxury car, powered and sized to give you the kind of performance you've always associated only with sports cars. It's nimble, it's quick, and the way it corners, you'll think roads were grooved for Thunderbirds. With the mighty Thunderbird V8 engine, in a car this size, you'll experience performance that's nothing short of spectacular. If ever a car were designed for pure driving pleasure, this is it. It's a feeling you've never had in any other car, bar none. And all the excitement of driving a Thunderbird, the prestige of owning a Thunderbird, either hardtop or convertible, is yours at a price far below that of other luxury cars. Ask your Ford dealer to arrange a demonstration drive for you. Your heart will tell you why the '59 Ford Thunderbird is America's most wanted car. The car everyone would love to own.
This is how it is to own the car you've always wanted. You get out before breakfast to look at it again. And you inspect it, not for flaws, but inspect it with your hands for the curved strength of its steel and the grace of its body. You take pleasure in its fine points, the smell of new upholstery, the honesty of its comfort, the feel of an easy riding seat that holds you like your favorite chair, the infinite detail, down even to the rich nap beneath your feet. You pride yourself on its extras, too. The sunroof, a wonderful new way of giving a hardtop the character of a convertible. The power accessories. The perfectionist in you likes them all. Then you turn it on. Nudge the 350 horsepower special Thunderbird V8, and you're living. It's that simple. This is how it is in a car that likes to chart its own roads.
You'd be hard-pressed to find its peer in handling or in cornering. You rediscover it every day. And it's a thing you can share. You watch a new Thunderbird convertible do its stuff. Fully automatic. And she never left her seat. It's all part of owning the 1960 Ford Thunderbird. All part of owning the world's most wanted car. This is how it can be for you.
That was the sound of it. This is the shape of it. This is how it can be for you in the Thunderbird for 1961. Unmistakably new. Unmistakably Thunderbird. Notice, it's not a hair wider nor a tenth of an inch longer than Thunderbirds you've known before, too, with 4-passenger luxury for all the world to see. The Thunder American car will you find this, an optional swing-away steering wheel that moves over to welcome you in, then pivots smoothly back to the normal driving position because you leave behind. There's a new Thunderbird motion, too. You can feel the eager might of the new Thunderbird 390 Special V8 engine that wings you swiftly, silently up to highway speed. You bridle it through turns with a touch. It happens this way only in a Thunderbird. There can be a day like this for you, a Thunderbird day. Your first day with your own 1961 Thunderbird. Unmistakably new. Unmistakably Thunderbird. Thunderbird. Unique in all the world, Thunderbird by Ford.
Presenting Thunderbird 1962, now in a new sporting edition, the Thunderbird Sports Roadster. Its beauty is brave. Its cockpit a seat for action, with slipstream headrests sculptured for a swiftly flowing line. A fiery Thunderbird V8 engine is leashed to your fingertips, eager for flight. This is Thunderbird 1962, now in 4 new models. 4-passenger hardtop, convertible, the distinguished new Landau with leather grain vinyl top. This is Thunderbird 1962.
1955, a new car is born, Thunderbird. This car and the Thunderbirds that followed have been classics and set the styling trend for an entire generation of cars. 1958, Thunderbird introduces the first 4-passenger luxury car and popularizes bucket seats. Every year is witness to new refinements, new ideas. Every year adds new luster to Thunderbird's reputation. 1961, debut of an exciting new look. Thunderbird is reborn. 1962, another Thunderbird original, the Sports Roadster. Now, Thunderbird Landau, 1963.
Imitated? Yes. But no car can really match Thunderbird's very special kind of elegance. The personal console, the rich walnut-like paneling, and the swing-away steering wheel are all part of the magic that is Thunderbird. Others may try, but none can steal the thunder from Thunderbird. Thunderbird, unique in all the world. How do you want to go? By plane? Ship? Car? Thunderbird? Unique in all the world, Thunderbird for 1963. Individual front seats, of course. A console. A swing-away steering wheel. And these magnificent new touches. Interiors with a luxurious walnut-like paneling. And crisp new side sculpturing. At your Ford dealers, September 28th. Thunderbird Landau, Convertible, Hardtop, or Sports Roadster. Thunderbird for 1963. Unique in all the world. Thunderbird 64. Thunderbird 64. Thunderbird 64. Introducing a new Thunderbird. So different. So beautifully different. Never before an interior so beautiful. In the rear, a new cove seat. In the front, new, more comfortable shell design seats. And you can get a reclining passenger seat. New flight deck controls and sweep-around console create a functional cockpit for your commands. Optional warning lights tell you when a door is ajar, when you need fuel, and when all your exterior blinker lights are on. There's also a swing-away steering wheel, a light that reminds you to fasten the retractable seatbelt, and an optional switch locks both doors at a flick. And even with all windows closed, Thunderbird 64's new silent flow ventilating system provides a constant change of refreshing air. So different. So beautifully different. Thunderbird 64 takes off where others leave off. Unique in all the world, Thunderbird 64 is waiting for you now at your Ford dealers.
For the next few minutes, let's step into the private world of Thunderbird. Thunderbird, unique in all the world. Thunderbird, renowned trendsetter in styling, innovator of automotive design, performance, and comfort. Yes, Thunderbird once again attains new levels of leadership with an outstanding 65 entry, featuring fresh new evidence of its total dedication to the desires, comfort, and convenience of those who choose to Thunderbird instead of merely to drive. But it's only from this vantage point, the driver's seat, that you will truly appreciate the private world of Thunderbird.
For instance, as part of the safety and convenience package option, the fasten seatbelt light turns off automatically when seatbelts are fastened. A new FM/AM radio is now available with a more flexible arrangement for selecting FM stations. Also new on this car, the car that creates its own status, an optional power antenna that retracts flush under top, reversible keys, and keyless locking. And now, for the first time, Thunderbird also offers as standard equipment the more precise command of front disc brakes, the only type of brakes used on racing cars. Disc brakes are so named because of this large air-cooled disc or rotor built into the wheel and rotating with it. When the brakes are applied, two giant pincers grip the disc, bringing the car to a smooth, straight stop. In truth, the unique combination of ride, power, handling, and silence in Thunderbird's new look of total performance for 65 very closely approximates the feeling of flight.
Let Thunderbird 1966 put you a touch away from personal luxury. Enter the town landau with its distinctive new roofline. You're a touch away from Thunderbird's unique overhead safety panel. The personal touch, an optional stereo tape player with 4 speakers. A full-width taillight houses sequential turn signals, and there is an optional speed control system to maintain constant speed. For power, you can have a new 428 cubic inch V8. And no one can steal that flawless Thunderbird look. Thunderbird 66, unique in all the world.